This conference will now be recorded.
Okay, good afternoon. My name is Suzanne Cahill. I'm the Planning Director for the City of Kingston. You are at the Tree Commission's monthly meeting. Today is July 14th, 2020, and I'm going to start by reading a few guidelines to help us navigate the meeting efficiently and respectfully. First, we ask that any members of the public and press remain muted and off camera for the length of the meeting. As the organizer, I reserve the right to mute anyone who unmutes themselves. The commission members and city staff will control your own mute buttons. As good practice, we ask that you mute yourself if you are not speaking to avoid background noise and feedback. If a commission member or staff wishes to speak, they will raise their hands. The organizer will call on them before they speak by stating their name clearly for our audio listeners. The board member will then unmute themselves, state their name, and speak clearly, muting after they are finished. All of our meetings are recorded, so both video and written transcriptions will be made available to the public on the city's website at a later date. If you do have any audio issues, send a text to the following number, 845-443-0416. Be aware that phone calls will not be answered during the meeting. The number again to text is 845-443-0416. I want to thank you for your patience, and we will now begin our meeting at 3:05 p.m. The first item that I'm going to do is just call the meeting to order and introduce the members of the commission and our staff and advisory people which are present. So commission member Vince Archer. Just say, Vince, can you say here?
Here.
Thank you. Sarah Wank.
Here.
Debbie Collins. Okay. I can hear her ding, but I don't hear your voice, Tab. John Duval is not with us today. It cannot make the meeting. Myself, planning director, are here. Kyla D-Day, who is our assistant planner, is here. And Jeff Ventura, Alderman Jeff Ventura Morel, is our common council liaison. He is here. Ryan, are you on it as a caller? Ryan Kuhn? Okay, no. All right, so we're going to start with the first item on the agenda, and that's the membership that had been circulated around to everybody. It was Resolution 120 of 2020. And the resolution effectively changed the structure of the commission from 9 members to 7. And it made both Tebby Collins as our representative of the Memorial Tree Fund and John Duval as our professional representative, voting members as well. So we have 5 voting members, 4 in place, 1 vacancy, and 2 members which can serve as alternates, which are yet to be appointed. Myself and Alderman Morel are liaisons and advisory to the commission. So that takes care of item number 1. We'll jump right into the applications that we have received. The first one we have is 59 Lafayette Avenue. Are Mr. or Mrs. Bennett on with us right now? Okay. Why don't we? I see that we have Mr. Castaneda. Are you here? Can you unmute yourself, please?
Hello?
You are here for which application?
42 Down Street. I'm Jose's son.
Okay. So we'll take you first then. If everyone can look at 42 Downs. This was a referral from the Department of Public Works, and they're asking for our input If you saw in the photographs that were forwarded to you, the tree is in very poor condition. What is the commission's recommendation on this? Anyone wishing to speak?
Yeah, this is Vince Archer. I looked at the tree and the removal would probably be appropriate. The only question I would have is if they can replant something in proximity.
Okay, so you're
Yeah.
recommending that a replant?
Yes.
Okay, I would agree with that.
I would as well.
Sarah?
Yeah, I would also agree.
Okay. Tebby, any comments? Tebby, can you unmute yourself? Do you have
He's
any
on-
comments on that?
She's unmuted, so I don't know why she can't hear.
Yeah. Okay, just for the record, again, I had said it a little earlier. I don't know that everyone was online yet. John Duval cannot be with us today. He is going through, however, looking at all of the trees. He'll be doing that today and tomorrow, and will be getting his comment back to me. So I will say that for the consensus on this one today, with the 3 members present, it will be a removal and a replacement. And I will tag to that all of the usual conditions. They would be the insurance per our code be provided for the city, that bluestone sidewalks be protected and relayed as needed, protection of pedestrian safety, removal of all debris, and grinding the stump to below grade. So that, along with the replant, will be the consensus, and I will confirm that with John Duval tomorrow, and then forward that off to the DPW. Is that agreed? Can I get a motion and agreement?
I'll move that.
Motion by Sarah. Can I have a second?
I second.
Second by Debbie. And all in favor then?
Aye.
Aye.
Yes, yes. Okay, all right, good. Thank you, Mr. Castaneda. We'll be in touch, okay?
Thank you.
Okay. Okay, so I guess we'll go back. Is there anybody else on the call, on a caller right now that is here for an application?
Yes,
Okay, can you identify yourself, please?
Carmen Erlington,
And what is the address, Miss Arlington?
191 Trember.
Okay. So we will go to 191 Tremper. Okay, this is also a referral from the Department of Public Works. Has everyone had the opportunity to take a look at the materials that were circulated? This tree is obviously dead and in need of removal, in my opinion.
Looks dead.
Vince, I concur,
Yes.
but the same caveat if they can do a replant.
Okay. Do you want to make that a motion?
Yes.
Okay, so the motion is from Vince. It's on the table to remove the tree at 191 Tremper Avenue. And the conditions would be that the insurance for the code be applied for the city of Kingston, that the bluestone sidewalk would be protected or relayed as needed, that both pedestrian and traffic safety will be protected during the removal of all debris, and that the stump would be ground to below grade, and that there would be a replant at an appropriate location and type that will be determined with staff. I'll do that at staff level. Can I get a vote on that?
Yes.
Sarah's a yes. Vince?
Yes.
Tabby? Yes, okay. So we have, that motion carries. So thank you, Mrs. Earlington. We'll be in touch with you.
Thank
Okay?
you very much.
Okay,
Bye.
bye-bye. Okay. Is there any other caller on with regards to an application? Anybody else? Okay, seeing no other property owners, let's start at the top of the list again. 59 Lafayette. This is a tree that had been removed by the property owner without the permit being filed. So this is an after the fact application being filed with us. It was a silver maple tree. My recommendation here would be the same, that there be either a replanting on premises in an appropriate location of a suitable species, or that a tree be replanted in close proximity. Any comment from the commission members?
I just want to say, I actually saw them cutting down this tree. I was out for a run and I stopped and said, do you have a permit to do this? And the guys were clearly like totally terrified. And they said, no. They said, yes. Anyway, the reason that they came to the commission is I stopped and talked to them. So it's always worth like making your,
Right.
just like, all I said was like, you guys need a permit to do this. And when they said yes, I said, okay, I'm gonna go back and check now. And the next thing I heard, they were at the Sue's office. So
Right.
always worth keeping your eyes open.
So I'm looking for a motion on this one. Sarah, do you want to make a motion on?
Sure, or Teddy, and I'll second either way.
Okay, Tabby, to replant.
You can't hear
Okay, can
Teddy.
I have a vote, or a second actually on the motion? Sarah?
Sure.
Okay. And a vote, all in favor? Sarah? Yes. Tebby? Yes. Vince?
Yes.
Okay, motion carries. Okay, the next one is 205 Down Street.
Yes.
Hello?
Hello, ma'am. How are you?
I'm good. Can you identify yourself, please?
I'm calling from 45 Down Street, Kingston.
45 Down Street? Okay.
Yes.
We'll do you now. All right. We'll jump to 45 Down Street.
Yes.
You're Mr. Khan?
Yes.
Okay.
I just received the letter in the mail because I'm living in the city and I just got it from the mailbox and I checked this today, the date and
Okay. All right. Good. Okay, Mr. Khan, so the tree was reported to us through the Department of Public Works.
Mhm.
This tree is obviously dead and needs to be taken
Mhm.
down. Okay. I had
Okay.
sent you the appropriate language from the code so that you were aware of that language as well. My recommendation to the commission, obviously, is that they recommend full removal with all
Okay.
of our conditions that we would typically apply. That would be with an insurance, naming the city as additionally insured, protecting the Bluestone sidewalk, and/or relaying it as needed, protection of pedestrian and traffic safety, removal of all the debris, and to grind the stump to below grade. The other
Okay.
recommendation I would make is that another tree be replanted on your property. Now, you have a corner lot, so you have some choices where you might be able to replant a tree to replace this. Would you have any question with that?
No, no.
Okay. So if we want to move forward, can I have a motion from a member of the commission?
I'll move. Sarah?
Sarah? Okay, Sarah made the motion. Can I have a second?
Yeah, yeah, you can have it.
Okay, from Tebby. Okay, all in favor? Vince?
Yes.
Yes.
Sarah? Yes. Tebby's a yes. Okay. So, Mr. Khan, we will be in touch with you, okay? And give you the
All right.
instructions? Okay,
Thank you very much.
thank you. Okay. Okay, we'll go back to 59 Lafayette again. Or no, 205 Downs, I'm sorry. 205 Down Street.
This
Coming to
one's
me?
DPW can remove?
Yes, this one, the DPW said that they could handle. It's not a very large tree, considering that it is a street tree, but it is dead. So DPW in their email did say that this is one that they could handle.
Is the property, this is Vince, is the
Yes.
property owner receptive to replanting?
I don't know if are Mr. or Mrs. Ham on as a caller? They're not here. We can make that a condition though, Vince.
Good.
It looks like a fairly large lot. I would think that there's probably room with the removal of this tree, that there would be a location that we could find suitable to replant. It is a corner lot as well, I believe. No, it is not. I'm sorry, I take that back.
Well, let's ask them to replant. Especially
I
if we're
think
taking
so.
for them.
Okay.
Sue, I don't
Any
know if
questions?
does this look like a street tree to you? It looks to me like it's back pretty far. I don't know if DPW wants to look at that before they offer to take it down.
No, it's a
Hard to
street
tell.
tree.
Yeah.
From the picture, because there's a storm drain grate in front of it.
Oh, so it is
Right
a
next
corner
to it.
lot then.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Okay, does somebody want to make a motion?
I
Sarah? Okay. So I'm presuming it would be a motion to remove with all of the typical conditions and then to replant with a suitable species in an appropriate location.
Yeah,
Correct?
the curbing looks pretty wide open.
Yeah,
It
there's
looks
a
like
lot.
Right.
the tree is just on the curbside, so looks like they have room to replant.
Yes.
Yeah, maybe point out that the DPW is taking the tree down, so they're saving, they don't have to do that, so they could throw in a new tree.
Well,
Right.
it's a pretty small tree, so.
Yes, it's not. Okay, so Sarah made that motion. Can I have a second from Tebby? Okay, can I have a vote?
Yes.
Everybody, yes? Okay,
Yes.
everybody's a yes, unanimous, thank you. Okay. Moving on to 110 South Manor. I did speak with Lindsay Stern yesterday. She didn't know if she would be able to attend. Lindsay, are you on the call? Okay, no. I did explain to her what the commission's role is in this. I think in terms of this one, what my recommendation would be, I know that there are limbs that have been dropping. She would prefer that we have her hire a certified arborist and try doing a prune job first and cleaning out the dead wood off the tree and seeing if the prune would help the tree survive.
It doesn't look terrible.
I can see your lips moving, Debbie, but I can't hear you. Would you be in favor of that pruning? Okay, Vince is raising his hand. Yes, Sarah?
It's worth a try. I mean,
Okay,
you can be safe, why not?
okay. Tebby, a prune? Okay. So can I have a motion from someone to prune? Vince? Okay, a second. Can I get a second on that? Sarah?
Somebody's
Okay.
unmuted.
All in favor? Aye. Okay, unanimous. Okay. Moving along, 66 West O'Reilly. I've spoken with Mr. Swenson. Mr. Swenson, are you on as one of the callers? Okay, he is not. So this is another referral from DPW. This tree is on West O'Reilly Street. If you looked at the photographs, it is rather dead, has some very deep infractions on it, I believe from probably trucks that have hit it. I'm not sure, but it does look like it's on its last legs. My recommendation would be that if you tried to prune out all the dead wood, the tree would be structurally unstable. So I would look at removal of this tree with all the standard conditions and then recommending a replant if possible.
Yeah.
I would agree. Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Oh, good. I was playing around. Yeah, I would agree. It looks like I agree that if they take some of the dead limbs, the whole tree would be unbalanced. So they should take it down
Right.
with all the
Okay.
conditions that you've mentioned
Right,
before.
okay. You want to make that a motion, Tebby?
Yes, make a motion that,
Okay. With the conditions and a replant. Can I have a second on that motion?
Vince, second.
Vin? Okay. Can I have a vote from all three of you? Sarah's a yes,
Yes.
Vince is a yes,
Yes.
Tebby?
yes.
Yes, okay. All right. Moving along to the next one, 187 Wall Street. Again, another DPW referral. This tree, again, is obviously very much dead. And I recommend the same removal with all of our conditions. This is a corner lot as well. I would like to see a replant.
So I'll make a motion that we remove the tree with all of the conditions mentioned and replant.
Okay.
I'll
Second,
second. Sarah?
Sarah. Okay, can I have a vote of all?
Yes,
Vince is a yes, Sarah's a yes, Tebby's a yes. Okay, unanimous.
Zipping along.
we have a lot of dead trees.
Unfortunately, yes.
I don't think
Okay,
we've ever had this many applications with all dead trees.
31 Fairmont is next.
This next one, this one is this bugs me, this tree. It really needs to be pruned.
This is a definite prune. The tree appears to be healthy. It's not necessarily a good street tree, but it is there. It's healthy. It's part of the streetscape. It needs to be pruned up. It appears that it's been pruned up over the sidewalk somewhat, but it needs to be equally trimmed along the roadside. DPW typically recommends that trees be pruned up to 14 feet. I'm afraid if we went up to 14 feet on this one, we'd be really almost more than halfway up the trunk of the
It would
tree.
look like a lollipop.
Yeah.
The 14,
So
is the 14 feet required because of trucks or something?
that's before a truck, yeah. But the limbs don't really they're in the parking lane. I think 14 feet would be excessive in this case.
Not a big road there, really. It's a very quiet street.
Right.
Yeah, I
What
think-
height do you think might be appropriate?
I would say 7 feet.
Yeah, I was gonna say 7 or 8 feet, maybe. It's enough to get a
I
car
was
under.
thinking in the 8 to 10 foot, getting down a little bit. But I think in the height of the car, a typical car, a couple feet above that. So 8, 9 feet, somewhere in that range. Is that
wouldn't go-
reasonable?
I wouldn't go more than 8.
Okay, 8 foot. Okay.
You're gonna really make the tree, like Tibby said, you're gonna make it look like a lollipop.
Well, and pruning it all around too, not just on the street
Yes.
side,
Yeah.
which is the
Makes sense.
problematic
All
side,
around. Just gonna
around
have
the perimeter. Right.
Can
Okay.
anybody tell what kind of tree this is? Because I agree with you, it's not a good street tree because obviously it's too low the way it's.
Yeah,
I've seen
I
it
mean,
all
it's
the time, but I don't know what it is. I think it's it's just some random, it's pretty, it's
more
red.
ornamental
I'm
tree.
wondering if it's some kind of red maple or something.
I don't think it's a maple.
You don't think so?
I don't think it's a maple.
Next time I go by there, I'll take my app and figure it out. Can we just stipulate that, get like a professional pruner and not just try to do it themselves? Or are we allowed to do that, like for pruning? I don't want them to just chop.
Yeah, I'd like at least somebody with a little knowledge to do the pruning work since it is on the street. Let me check with DPW to see if this is one that they might be able to handle in-house. I will do that. Okay, since it's a smaller tree, they're not involving any lines. So I will check with that. Can I have a motion from one of you to prune all around to a maximum clearance height of 8 feet? Okay, Sarah, can I have a second
Yes,
on that,
Vince.
Vince? Okay. And can we have a vote on that?
Yes.
Vince, yes.
Yes.
Sarah, yes, unanimous. Okay, thank you. Okay. Next tree, 25 Roosevelt. This is one, again, DPW referral. It's 95%, maybe a little bit less, maybe 95% dead. My recommendation, if you look at it, is to remove it and replant. Remove with all the restrictions and replant.
I agree. I make a motion that the tree be removed with all the restrictions and replant. Because it looks to me as if you try to just trim it, it's going to be completely.
It'll be gone. Yeah,
Not much there that's livable, so.
Yeah, exactly.
right. Okay, so Tebby made the motion. Can I have a second, please?
Second,
Sarah?
beautiful
Okay.
tree. Done.
All in favor?
Aye.
Unanimous. Thank you. Okay, I did have another tree that I added on this morning. If you received the email at 50 Noon Lane.
Oh, that tree. Oh, God.
Right, this tree unfortunately came down in a storm over a weekend not too long ago, and this is what remains of it.
I actually
The
went,
DPW, John Duvall was up there as well, and it is recommended to be removed.
it's really a shame. It is a spectacular tree. Absolutely.
Yeah,
gorgeous. I saw it, I was there right after the branch came down, like the fire department was there. It took out all the wires on one side of the street, and
right,
lucky nobody got killed. It's bad.
right. Yeah, it is a shame. I just don't know that there's any way to really save it, even if you cut the lower branch that goes off, if you'd even be able to save it with that much of a tear in its side.
Yeah, it's kind of ripped the trunk about a
Right.
third of the trunk.
Right.
Right. It's just
Yeah.
absolutely heartbreaking. It's a gorgeous tree.
I know. Okay, so can I get a motion on this one?
I can't do it. It's too sad. Somebody else can.
Let Vince do it.
I motion
It's good.
removal.
Remove. It is in a very wooded area, but perhaps they would, replant or do something.
There's actually a kind of not very healthy locust tree right next to it. I mean, so they took them
Okay.
both down. They could do something really nice on that little plot.
Okay. Okay, so that is a motion with the suggestion amended that they consider the nearby locust as well. to remove and replant. So I need another, Vince, is that acceptable to you to amend the motion? Okay, can I have a second on that? Debbie? Okay, and then a vote?
Yes.
Yes.
Everybody, yes? Okay, unanimous. Okay. That takes care of our trees. So moving along, just to bring everyone up to speed on the ones that we had discussed last month. 3 Garrigan Drive, that was on private property, but overhanging the lower portion of Broadway. There were multiple dead trees, scrub growth, and the fencing. I spoke with the property owners this morning. This is Springbrook Village, the apartment complex. They have contracts ready to go for both the fencing and the trees. So we're looking to start work this week or next week. So that's a good, and they're using LW Tree Service, who's been doing quite a bit of work in Kingston these days. So that's just an update there. On 1211 Glen Street, that was also on private property, but it was a very dead tree, and it was in danger of falling on private property, and the street dead end there. That one has been taken care of, fully removed. The next one was where the caves down on Lower Broadway, or Lower Delaware Avenue, excuse me. It was on private property, but the fear there was that if it were to fall, it would fall into the street. That one has also been removed since they've been notified. The last one is 21 West Chestnut Street. That was the one that was damaged by the vehicle. And that one is going to be done either tomorrow or the next day. So in the next couple of days, that will be taken care of and off the list. The last one that I have there is 70 West Chestnut Street. I sent that information around to you just for informational purposes only. This is a tree that is on private property, but it was considered an issue of emergency public safety. It's dropping limbs onto the Dietz Court dead end there. So they have been notified. I have not heard from the property owners as of yet, but I will keep people posted on that. So that takes care of those matters. The Pike planters is another item I just wanted to bring your attention to. The planters along the Pike plan in Uptown Kingston are public property. They all do have trees in them, and they are considered street trees. We have had a couple that have been taken out and removed in order to do some repairs on North Front Street. They have since been replaced. We did have one, however, that was on Wall Street that someone removed the tree from without permission from the tree commission or the planter owner at the time. So that brought up the issue of preparing guidelines for those planters. I'm working with UBA representatives to put that planter guidelines together. Those trees, anything that is to be done with those trees will have to come in front of the tree commission, and that is going to be an item of the guidelines. So I just wanted to bring your attention to that. If you notice some of the work going on up there, we're making those official, and they'll be adopted. They'll be brought to the city as well for acceptance. Any questions on that? Okay. Barman Park and Metro Building. Julie, are you on the line now? Julie?
Hello?
Yes?
Yes,
Hi. Okay. So Julie Noble is here. I know there was discussion from a couple of the commission members about what was going on over there. There were articles in the newspaper. I reached out to Julie. She was kind enough. She sent me copies of the plans, which I've forwarded to you. in a couple batches. I also sent you a copy of the existing conditions, so we know what we're dealing with. Julie, do you just want to go through it? I know that we spoke a little bit about it this morning, and that this is a joint project. You can maybe give a little bit of the background about it, with the city's, the council's resolution a couple years ago and what's going on.
Sure. So a couple of years ago, when I don't know if it was, I think it was probably last year, when the council was negotiating with RUPCO, and everything was getting settled with the metro building, there was a resolution that was passed between the council and by the council, stating that in this transition, the city of Kingston would be responsible for removal of the existing fence. And so I'm going to just briefly tell you where that is. There are actually two projects that are happening this year at Barman Park. One of them is the playground project. We have the city last year and the year before that received funding through community development block grant funding when Kevin Gilfeather was superintendent, in order to provide necessary park improvements to Barman Park. It does not include removal of any trees at all or planting of any trees currently. So it will be fully contained within the space that it's in. It's going to basically be adding a few more elements, changing the safety surface, and adding some picnic tables and maybe some shade structures. We haven't talked about adding trees. We could, but we definitely are not removing any trees as part of that project or any plants at all. And that is happening this year. But the part that is relevant to you is this part with the resolution. So in discovering this resolution and understanding that we had an obligation to do so, we, DPW and Parks, collectively went to the council to, among other projects, to have money allocated through the Parks Trust Fund, which is a fund that's set up when developments come in and don't have space to put in recreational facilities. They pay into the Rec Trust Fund. So it's designated specifically only for capital improvement projects in the parks. We got permission from the council for $45,000 to manage the fence project. And so we had a meeting, DPW, Parks, RUPCO representatives, and Scott Dutton had a site visit, and we looked at the site, and we discovered basically we have a approximately 500-foot long fence line that is the property boundary between the Metro and Barman Park, and that runs from the frontage of Greenkill all the way to the back of Barman. And it is not just a fence that has trees on either side. It is a fence that has plants and vegetation interwoven within. So it is deeply, the vegetation is deeply embedded, or the fence is deeply embedded in the vegetation, one way or the other, however you look at it. The fence is two different types. One is a approximately 16-foot tall fence surrounding or near, more proximate to the front of, or to the Greenkill side, that's near the softball field. And then there is, and it jogs around in a Z, basically down to the back where it gets to be a shorter 6-foot fence. We collectively decided that none of us want a chain link fence. Metro doesn't want the feeling of, exclusion, and from the park's perspective, we don't feel like we need that either. We came to understand that as part of their project in developing the Metro, Scott Dutton and his landscaping team pulled together a landscaping plan already, which I believe, Sue, you said that you shared, so you all have that now. Yes. And so we basically made the agreement, and we have a memorandum of agreement that's set to be signed by both parties that says that we, as a city, will use that $45,000 to remove the fence and incidentally also all vegetation along the length of the 500 feet, and that RUPCO would be responsible for revegetating and reinstalling any sections of fence that we collectively decide on. Now, to get to the vegetation part, we walked the whole thing, both sides. It is primarily not valuable trees and vegetation. The big trees that we did see, we saw mulberry, we saw catalpa. It's a lot of like ailanthus and other things that are not fantastic at all. We collectively agreed that there was nothing that we wanted to save and that we would develop the bid fully so that it would be fully done by a contractor with full removal of all vegetation and full removal of the fencing. Now, that being said, we did not have an arborist with us. We had a number of us that collectively decided on this. However, we have not put the bid out yet, and I have not opposed whatsoever if someone from the tree commission wants to walk the property either with or without me. And if you feel as though there is or are any trees along that length that you would like us to keep, I'm absolutely positively fine entertaining that and walking it with you and looking at that. And then we can discuss that and how that, and modify and change, put together the bid that way. I'm totally fine doing that. We can mark them, whatever you want to do. We didn't think that any of them are valuable, but I'm just putting it out there that it will be a full removal of all vegetation once it happens. In terms of replacing the fence, we are currentty investigating what the softball regulations are or baseball regulations are for height of fence. If we have to go back up to that 16-footer, and also they may put some sort of more decorative, smaller fence thing down by where the basketball court is, just to like stop basketballs from going from side to side. In their planting plan, which I circulated, you can see it seems that they have at least half dozen or so looks like oaks planned for planting along that strip, and then lots of small grasses and things. I didn't look closely exactly at the composition of what they are planning to put in, but our portion of the project would happen this year in 2020, and theirs would follow shortly after. They have since already removed all the debris along their side, not only debris, but also anything that would be in our way. So at this point, it's really on us to get a bid and get it out there and get it done. So I have no opposition whatsoever to taking a look at it again with anyone that is interested, but I do need to get this project done in 2020.
Thank you, Julie. Would any of the commission members like to go out and look at the project along that fence line?
I have a question for Julie. When you went and looked at the trees, you said you didn't have an arborist, but
Correct.
somebody that identified what the tree species were?
A number of us have had enough background in naturalist work, and I'm an environmental educator by trade, so enough of us knew enough of the plants, but we did not have an arborist with us, no.
No, but I mean, how did you identify the tree species? What did you use or just a visual?
Just a visual.
I would be willing to ask John Duval, our certified arborist on the commission, to take a walk out there. I would go with him. I don't know if any of the commission members would want to join us to just take a look at the trees with Julie.
Well, let us know when you're going. I would try to join you.
Okay. All right. Okay, Julie. So what I will do is get in touch with John tomorrow, and I'll try and set up a time either late this week or for early next week, if we can get together and take a walk over there, if that's okay with you.
Yes, that's fine. And after this meeting, I'll shoot you a note with my availability in the next week and a half, and you guys can take a look at that.
Perfect. Thank you. That would be great. That was my next question to you. Okay, good.
Sure.
Do any other commission members have any questions?
Thank you, Julie.
You're welcome.
No.
Thanks.
And I'm glad the trees that we planted as tree commission a few years ago aren't going to be touched over by the playground. That makes me happy.
Yep.
So, okay, so if there's no more questions, thank you, Julie. And we will be in touch to get over there and take a walk.
Okay.
If you
And
do
then
this
report
before
back to
the end of the
commission.
week, I could probably come, but if you do it next week, I won't be around.
Okay, all right, thanks, Ted. Okay. So with that, I do not have anything else for the commission today, unless someone else does. Our
Yeah.
next meeting would be August 11th. I'd like to ask that we keep it at 3 o'clock for the summer. That works better for my schedule, if that's okay with everybody else.
Yes. I have
Can
a
I
quick,
Fine with
Quick
me.
question before we, is
Sarah?
there, yeah, just a question. We had an unusual number of referrals from DPW. Is something going on that they're doing more referrals than usual, or is it just a coincidence?
The code does require them to refer to the commission to seek an opinion and advice.
Yeah, it's just usually we don't have so many referrals from them at one meeting. Maybe it's because we
This
haven't
is
been.
something, this came up after an issue happened up on Valentine Court with some tree trimming that was done that was not forwarded to the commission. So now we're actually catching up with that and correcting the process.
Not complaining, just curious. Happy to get more input, always.
I have a quick question. 97 Roosevelt, it was 2 trees that we talked about last week, last month.
Yes. Right.
What was the resolution of that?
The resolution, they're going to come down and he is willing to replant. So we have to come up with a location. I said that we would meet with him. We discussed the appropriate time to replant would be in the fall.
Okay.
So
But
he's thinking about some locations. The property owner's going to get back in touch with me. That was Mr. Tatarski, I believe.
Yep.
And he's going to get back in touch with me and we'll go out there and take a look at it and give him some suggested species.
But both trees, are they taking down? The one tree looked pretty
They're
healthy.
taking down both trees, yes. Both were in pretty poor condition. They didn't look, but up close they were down by the roots, they were all damaged.
Oh. And what about 218 Greenkill Avenue?
218 Greenkill, that was again to be, we recommended that not come down. They wanted to remove that. We rejected that application and said no. I have not heard, they got a letter and I have not heard back from them.
Okay.
Oppose our decision.
Okay.
That was
So
the
before you
horse
close, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
If I recall
Sorry.
correctly, and they wanted it down because it was dropping the horse chestnuts on their car.
Yep.
And we had the driveway to park in.
Yes.
And it's the only tree really along that stretch of roadway too. So it really would have been a shame to remove it.
I
A good
agree.
stretch of roadway to do some planting in.
Mhm.
Okay?
Good.
So can I have a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
A motion to adjourn second?
I second.
Vince? Okay, all in favor? Hi.
Goodbye.
Okay,
See you
thank
on the 11th,
everybody. Our next meeting again will be August 11th at 3 o'clock.
Okay.
Okay?
Oh, and
Thank
by
you.
the way,
I'll be in touch.
my husband, Jack Weeks, said when he gets off the Hudson River Maritime Museum board, he might be interested in being on the tree commission. He knows a lot more about trees than I do.
Cool.
That would be great. We'd love to have him on our tree commission.
Yes, I second that.
Yeah,
Okay.
that would be
So
wonderful.
maybe in a
We would
year we'll
welcome him.
talk to him.
Okay, all right, thanks. Okay, everybody, well, enjoy the rest of the day, and I will see you in August, unless I see you before. I'll let you know what I work out with Julie in terms of going out to the Barman Park property. Okay?
Okay.
Thanks. Be safe, everyone.
Thank you.
Bye.
Okay, bye.
Good night.
All right.
Okay. Well, that went quick.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out how to get off.
I can